On today's episode of Real Hoop Hours, we got Good Morning NBA, where we're going to talk about buyers at the deadline, teams that could use a guy to make a little push for the championship. Then we're going straight into Team of the Week, followed by Real Hoop Hours, where we're going to ask the question of, is it a good idea to start a franchise and build around a center right now? After that, we go into our therapy session, and we wrap it all up with our starting five draft of NFL players. Let's ride.
Welcome to Real Hoop Hours with Nick and Heem. Nick, how you doing today, sir?
Doing all right, man. I'm nice and cozy. It's chilly in Alabama now. How about yourself?
I'm doing wonderful. I forgot about my Oklahoma Trae Young jersey. I had to pull it out for this episode.
I
don't
saw
know.
it immediately. I
Yeah.
thought it was Buddy. I was like, oh, that's Buddy Hield.
Yeah, that would have been a better jersey, honestly. You know,
Trey was nice, bro. Trey was cool.
Yeah, Trey was nice, but if you pull out the Buddy Hield at the function, that's you're a different breed.
Dude,
Trae Young still tough ass jersey, so you know I had to.
I love the obscure jersey pulls. I remember like senior day of high school, and this was like a crazy pull at the time, even crazier now. Someone walked in with a Titans Bishop Sankey jersey, and I was like, whoa.
Huh?
Yeah. You remember Bishop Sankey?
He barely.
Yeah,
Oh no, because
no,
of Madden. That's
Yeah, he was like a highly acclaimed coming out of college guy and just never ever was good.
Yeah. One of my buddies, he lost a bet that he would get a girl's number, and the punishment was that he had to get a Robert Sacre Lakers jersey. And with his money, I imagine. and he couldn't eat at school for a week. So
Robert Sacre is crazy.
Robert Sacre, it looks disgusting. Like it's probably the worst looking jersey I've ever seen in my life. And he just had to buy it with his own money. And we were kind of terrible people.
How much does that run you? 50? Like at the time, were jerseys like all like $100 like they are now? I don't remember.
Yeah, the thing is,
like the
that,
dollar was stronger back then.
It was clearance. Also, it was clearance. It was 1,000% clearance.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were technically looking out for him, but we didn't realize it was still a jersey. You know, if we say Kobe, it's like, oh, we're running about 120, 140. Yeah, you know, Robert Sacre, you can probably get it for a good $15 in 2024. You know, like some type of rack and pay list, but I want to get us right into our show, sir.
Take us away.
Good morning. Yes, sir. Good morning, NBA. With last week being our topic of sellers at this point in the NBA season, we want to talk about buyers, teams that are actually ahead of schedule or teams that are playing really well and looking to be contenders in this NBA season. And Nick, I actually want to see your first team, as you say, should be buyers at this point in the season.
Yeah. So the first team that I wrote down, they seem like a buyer because they're playing better than people expected. And also they have a ton of tradable assets to get one like bona fide piece. And I think they're one bona fide piece away from being like oh shit, like this team is the real deal now. And that is the Houston Rockets.
Yeah. My boy been talking
so
about
much
them
depth.
for a while, man.
So much depth. And hey, and maybe I will say, I told all of you, I told everyone for the past month and a half. Before that, I was saying this in the summer, like the Rockets are going to be good. I was like, the Rockets are going to, they are the Oklahoma City Thunder like 3-ish years ago. I don't think they have the same star power in Shea, but they're like super guard heavy. They're weird. It's like they shouldn't work, but they do. They got this coach that is just kind of, the whole team has adopted his personality and mentality. Different paths, but same road Rockets and Thunder.
There we go. Yeah, no, I remember people literally looking at you like you was insane. It was funny because he was like, "Guys, I am right. They're gonna be good." And then I literally saw people be like, "All right, old man, what are you talking about?"
The future is now. It's gonna be the Timberwolves are gonna be good still.
There we go.
But,
and you are right. But I will say for the Rockets, the one weird part about them is that just like the OKC Thunder, because they have so many tradable pieces and so many young dudes, is that they probably are going to do like the Thunder and end up not doing much with it. Like they end up just going to keep like all of it because they don't want to be the team that traded away the young dude that end up being the star of another team.
And I feel like the Rockets pieces are different though. Like the guys that they're getting good minutes out of are guys that are just role players. Like the guys that are not playing well for them are the dudes that have the higher ceiling. Like, I mean, I'll eat my vegetables on Cam Whitmore. He's been awful. He's been bad. And I spoke very highly of him.
Man. That didn't help the Rockets point.
Cam Whitmore has a higher ceiling, and this might sound crazy, but I think that Cam Whitmore has a higher ceiling than Tari Eason does. But I can say that without a shadow of a doubt, Tari Eason is a better basketball player right now. He's playing better basketball. Reed Shepherd is playing minutes. I mean, and he hasn't been this like crazy efficient, like super point guard that I thought he hasn't been the guy that's going to be like, well, like, why do you hold on to Fred? Because I was thinking like, yeah, Rockets, if they're good and Reed is like playing the majority of the backup 1 minutes, and it's like, you look at the per 36, you're like, man, like him and Fred are pretty comparable. You look to dish Fred, but no, Fred is like, he's kind of the heartbeat of this team. Him and Dylan Brooks both. Like, I mean, and they're Ime dudes, like they're Udoka guys for sure. Like he is
definitely.
They are the types of players that he loves and the types of guys that are going to thrive in doing what he does, which is like guard, common sense, simple offensive sets, and just be an MFer, man. Just like bow your neck, get a stop, be tough.
And that's why I'm thinking about them when it comes to in the buying market. It's one of those weird situations where it's like them adding really any type of veteran presence is going to be a good idea, but where exactly should they go is kind of like where I'm a little in between on them of being buyers exactly. I personally kind of just want them to play the year out, and then after the season really make a decision on the direction. Kind of like OKC. Weirdly, I just want them to be OKC, but just letting them play basketball and then like, oh, wow, we ended up this year at the 4th seed. Cool, then let's make a trade now. Because realistically, one of the things that I think they could do to mess it up is like, let's say they were to trade for a dude like Zach LaVine. All right, they would try to get a big scorer onto the team to just get some extra scoring punch on that team, but that's not exactly what they need. But it looks good on paper. It looks flashy. That can kind of mess up what they're building. And that's why I'm like, you might just have to let them have it. You might just have to just let the year play out.
Dude, give him a flamethrower at the 3, and maybe you bring Dylan Brooks into the 6-man role.
Ooh.
Give me Bogdan Bogdanovic. Maybe a little
I can put him on any team, and I would love it.
I
love him so much.
Maybe maybe Brandon Ingram.
Hold on.
Pels are hot ass. They are ass juice.
Complete ass. I mind you, straight up ass.
We
have to make sure we let that known. Right? Yeah, 5-20. They're the second worst team in the NBA right now. And their payroll is filled.
Yeah.
So
be eyes on the block. He could be the guy, but either way, I thought they were a team that's like, they're good. They got a lot of tradable pieces. I wanted to put them on the list.
Definitely.
But next team, I'll let you do one.
Yes. I about to say I had the next team I had actually was the Warriors. Because the Warriors, weirdly, I think I forgot how everybody realistically felt about the Warriors coming into the year. Some people were like, hey, they're going to be terrible. Other people were like, hey, it's the Warriors, so they're going to be at least decent. And I actually, now that they kind of like mellowed out where they were like, I think they were the 3 seed, two or 3 seed at some point. No, they were the number 1
they're the
seed
5 right now, but they've been up there the whole time. They bounced back and forth 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe they were the 1 at one point. I thought the Thunder had
I remember them being really high at some point, and I was like, wow, I didn't think this team would even be close to this good at this point in the season. And then I've seen them play the Timberwolves the other day, and then I was like, okay, this team still needs some pieces, especially with Steph going to be missing games randomly, because there's some games where they look good without him. And they're like, okay, we still have a team, but the consistency of this team is the problem. And
I like that point.
Yeah, the buying market is going to be important for them.
And to be a buyer, to be a legit buyer, you do have to have an attractive young piece, especially a guy that's like doesn't really make sense on a win now team quite as much. And for the Warriors, like that, the dude that screams that to me is Jonathan Kuminga, who I like. I think he's a good player. I just don't think that he's the guy to take the Warriors to the next level within the Steph window. I mean, it's like, okay.
I think he's too weird of a player to me.
He's inconsistent. He's a weird, like, I like him. I think he's a really solid piece, but it's like, doesn't shoot it exceptionally well. He cuts well. He guards well and stretches when he's engaged. And it's like, you kind of see him like maybe he's better Andrew Wiggins. But I mean, Andrew Wiggins at his peak was locking dudes up and shooting like 42 from 3, which is, that helps in a split screen offense as well. Just having guys that are knocked down helps a lot. But
because my problem with Kuminga is that because how should I say it? The Warriors do really good. They do an amazing job at maximizing what you're really good at. And for Kuminga, he's not really good at really anything. And that's the problem.
He's good at being really athletic.
He's just a basketball player, and he's just a hooper. So he's gonna find a way to be good, but the Warriors can't really maximize him because he's not really good at one aspect. Like with Buddy Hield this year, to start the year, they did an amazing job with getting him going because guess what? He's a really good shooter, especially going to his right off of screens. Let's do that a lot. And let's do that in situations where he could dribble off of that also. But like with Kuminga, there's not one aspect they can really utilize. And it's like, he's a great cutter, and
he's great
something.
In their split screen stuff, like, I mean, one of their principles is something always has to go toward the rim, whether it's off a stagger or just that pass and screen away, like whether it's the guy that curls it or the screener that, sets it and then flashes to the rim or just goes to set it and slips. Like he's great for that. And also like backdoors, just face cuts. Like he's really athletic. He's 6'10" and he moves like a guard. So anytime you have that, usually hopefully a guy like that is a good cutter. But
that's true. And that's
what do you think?
And that's why to me,
I was
about to say somebody that I want them to get because I believe in this player way too much is Kevin Huerter. And I have and the thing is about Kevin Huerter. Oh my God. And now, the thing is that he's not that much different from Buddy, but the real reason I want him on the team is the option to go to Kevin because Buddy is extremely one-dimensional at times. And Kevin Huerter has an ability to be able to, dribble, drive, make good passes, and actually could be a secondary ball handler if you use him correctly. And on the Warriors, cinema. I really need him on that team. But I don't know if Kevin Huerter is legitimately on the trade block. But that's somebody that I see a vision for.
We can dream.
The Warriors. I can
dream. A man can dream.
It's a really good dream.
Guys can have hobbies, Hey, who it might not make sense. And I think it'd have to be like a situation where the Warriors are like, hey, we want to build around you after the Steph window. And for now, we're going to pay you a bunch of money in the offseason. because he's a free agent next year. But Anthony Simons,
Mm.
you know,
he's gonna get a lot of money.
He's gonna get a bag. I don't know if the Warriors could afford him, but every time I feel like the salary cap's an issue, like it's like, oh, actually, it's not a problem for whatever reason, this, that, or the other. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we found $40 million. Like, oh wow, I didn't know you guys could do that. Yeah, no, this it's
or just
amazing.
Like goes up for whatever reason. Yeah, the salary cap just goes up.
But Anthony Simons on the Warriors also absolutely insane idea.
Yeah, that would be nuts. That would be really good.
Yeah,
he's definitely good on the block though. Another team that this might be the last one that we talk about, but the Hawks.
Yes,
I put them on there, and you were like, that is actually. I know you said like that's a very interesting team. Is the Hawks?
Yes, for the simple fact that the Hawks, the most mid team by far in the past 10 years that we've seen, at least since Trae Young has been there, really their whole history. But we're just gonna do just since Trae Young got there, just a team that was okay with being stagnant. And then they made the DeJounte trade, and you're like, oh, cool. They're now making the effort to be better, but then you realize DeJounte's not as good as we thought he was. And we kind of realized the Dyson fit wasn't really.
Dyson plugs in there just fine, and honestly, it's
he
like,
does the job.
My thought is like Trae Young is so good. Like shout out, not just saying because he got the jersey on, but like he's such a good point guard. Just such a good guard in general with the ball in his hands. And it is kind of like a situation of
amazing, bro.
In order to have the ball, to have him splitting touches with someone, like they better be really damn good. Like they better be really good for you to justify taking the ball out of Trae Young's hands to give player number 2 more touches. And it's like DeJounte wasn't that guy. And right now they are just kind of playing Trae ball. Not on purpose, I guess that's cool.
Well, that was kind of hard. Trae ball. But the problem was Quinn Snyder, right, had this idea of off-ball Trae Young, right, where he was like, oh, well, if I have DeJounte handling the ball, then I can have Trae Young off the ball. But what ended up happening is that they started looking for Trae off the ball and on the ball. Mm-hmm. So then now the problem we try to avoid of having him do too much just came back in a different direction. Is that I was like, oh, nothing's happened this possession, but Trae Young's so fast and quick that he's the only one getting open. So then, Trae still is the one with the ball. So
we're just gonna like top lock him and just send everything to the rim. Yeah,
and it was so weird. Work. It was like, but the idea as a coach, I was like, oh, Quinn, that's a great idea. But like you're saying, you have to really justify taking the ball out of Trae Young's hands when he shows you he could be extremely efficient at times. And it's like, what can I really do in a situation where this dude's cooking crazy? You have to, at a certain point, you have to be like, hey, Trae, just take the ball and figure it out.
I mean, he's got I'd say the highest gravity pound for pound in the NBA of like all the little dudes that got gravity. I mean, he's got, right now in his career, he's got more gravity than Steph does. I'll say that. That's not crazy.
Yeah. No, and the second he dribbles a ball past half court, it's insane what a defense.
And he'll punish you too, more than Steph will right now for overplaying him. Dude, they beat the Kings. You know what his stat line was?
Never win.
7 points, 19 assists. He had 19 assists and scored 7 points. 19. It's like, hey.
And they won.
Pick your poison.
That's what matters.
Yeah. And they won the game. It's nuts,
and the thing is about Trae is that the problem with the Hawks is that he kept having these like 45 point, 15 assist games. And they're like, all right, guys. It's like, it's wonderful he could do that. But I'd rather him not have to go to that length to lose by 2.
Yeah, and it's if you're depending on that, then you're not going to win a lot of games.
But that's what it's saying is what's weird about the Hawks now. Why I want them to be buyers is because they're winning games and he's not losing his mind yet. Like we haven't seen
he's not
Trae
going crazy.
yeah, like he's having a really good year still. I think he's averaging 26 and like 12.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's averaging a career high in assists. I know that, but
Let
like
me see.
he's
I can look it up.
I'm about to say please do, because he's still having a really good year, but it's not as like crazy when it comes to the lengths he has to go to as other years. Please. What
He's
do
more
we
of a
got on
point
Trae Young?
guard for sure. He's averaging 21, 4, and 12.2.
He's 12 to 21.
21 points a game.
That's really good, and they've been winning.
And
See,
12.
that's the thing.
He's having like a Steve Nash type year, man.
And that's what you want from Trae Young. You'd rather him be around that 20 to 21 than have to be 27, 28 to win games. And that's why, to me, for the Hawks, I think you just try to get bucket getters if you can, rather than ball handlers that can take the ball out of Trae Young's hands. Get other dudes that can score mid post.
Yeah.
You know, I would
need
say
guys that
position.
can score very efficiently in their spots if you're the Hawks. Because Trae Young will get you the ball in your spots. And that's why I love, I don't want to bring every conversation always back to the Mavs, but that's why I love what PJ Washington has been this year for the Mavs, because he's been a guy that when he catches in his spots, he's a very, very efficient scorer. And even outside of that, he's going to drive closeouts. He's going to punish teams that like are going to help off of our other two guys, off of Luka and Kyrie. It's like, that's the guys you need. It's the Aaron Gordon role, like, can you be efficient when you catch in the spots that our guys are going to get you the ball and when they get overplayed, and can you move intelligently without the ball in your hands? But I think
weirdly,
they need. Sorry, go 100%.
ahead. Oh yeah, I was saying weirdly, the dude I want to throw out there, my suggestion for the Hawks look into is Jeremy Grant, and just see what you can do. Right? It's like, yes, Jeremy Grant is an amazing player in any situation, like in any one facet. But the thing is that could be really good is that Jeremy Grant's not going to get in the way of anybody. That's what I really love about his game, is that
he's a realized Tobias Harris.
he's a more conscious Tobias Harris. Let's say it like that. I love him to death because Jeremy Grant can give you a good 30 on a random day, and he didn't take away a single shot from a lot of the dudes on the court, and that's perfect. And I don't know, again, this is another dude. I don't know if they're legitimately on the trading block, but it's the Blazers, so I don't.
Everyone's on the block.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Blazers,
okay, so
unless they're too expensive, like DeAndre Ayton's too pricey, I think.
Yeah, it's true. Like, again, that's why, to me, I don't know if I'm wilding with that, but like, I would love to see Jeremy Grant in a Hawks jersey. But I don't know. That's not it's not like a big name that a lot of people would see as like life changing in any way possible.
Another guy that wouldn't be life changing, but I mean, like, you don't need, if you're the Hawks, like, you're like, okay, we have our guy, we have other dudes that can score around him, like. Bogey's a flamethrower. DeAndre Hunter is just a good NBA player. You have a few guys here and there that can give you something like Jalen Johnson is really good. We can't talk about the Hawks for
improved so
10
much.
minutes without talking about Jalen Johnson. He's a very, very good basketball player. But think about, like, okay, who's a guy that we can run similar stuff with when Trey's not on the floor, and maybe, or just like make it so it doesn't have to be Trey all the time, but this guy doesn't need touches. Dennis Schroeder. Balling out with the Nets right now.
Bring him back. Bring him back,
man. Schroeder to the Hawks. Go. I like it.
Averaging 19, by the way.
Yeah.
19 points per game.
You put Dennis Schroeder and Jeremy Grant on the Hawks, they're a top 3 team in the East.
That's a good ass team.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
You got assets. You got good players. Like, you got guys that clearly can contribute. I don't think you want to give up Dyson.
And Dyson's making barely any money, right?
You can probably live without DeAndre Hunter. Even though I do like DeAndre, but
if you get Jeremy, I think you can. I think if you get Jeremy, you're good without DeAndre. I
You
think
got
they
David
have the
Roddy
same
on
type
this
of.
team. You got
Mhm.
Vit Krejci, somewhat tradable. He's had a
That's my
great year.
boy though. I got
Vit's
to
had a good
keep
year,
Vit.
man.
Vit is tough. I need to keep him on the court. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And he's one dude I talked about 3 years ago. I was like, oh, he's gonna be so tough. I was so late.
with what was he with the Thunder?
Oh, with the Thunder, yeah. Sorry, I wouldn't say early. I was like ridiculously early, so I get no credit for the take. That he
The Thunder had like the weirdest group of like bench guys for a while. It was like Lindy Waters the third, Vit Krejci.
Yeah, did.
I feel like there's one I'm
Ousmane
missing.
Dieng.
Yeah, well, he's still there. But
Yeah, he's still there. They kept just
Alex
putting him in the
Abrinas?
G League. Oh,
Just did nothing but shot the ball in the Russ era. Just like stand in the corner and shoot and dunk.
Oh man, I missed that dude. I missed that dude because he Daz was only there to shoot.
That's it.
Like, it was literally anything else is like that. But that OKC team was god awful with shooting.
Bad.
So gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, I'm sure there's more buyers regardless, but that's what we got. And now it's time to move into team of the week. I'm gonna go first. Just throw it out there. I already talked about them. I got the Houston Rockets. And one thing I wanted to mention, clap it up for the Rockets. They are currently sitting at third in the West, 2 games out of first place in the West. Actually tied with the Mavs for third, but I think the Rockets have the head-to-head, so they're ahead of us at 16-8. But I wanted to mention the fact that Alperen Şengün, who I love the man. I mean, I love him. He might be my favorite non-Maverick in the NBA. But he's playing like down a tick on, like total points. Efficiency's down a little bit. Like, assist numbers are down a smidge, but he's a bona fide center. He is a legit rim protector, like, one of the better drop coverage guys in the NBA this year. I mean, I don't have the numbers to back it up. I'm just going straight off of eye test, but usually when the eye test works out, the stats follow most of the time. But I mean, for someone who was like, he's undersized, he's not athletic enough, he's not quick enough off the floor, it's clear he put in the work this summer to do that. And the numbers are down in my eyes because he doesn't need to be that for them anymore. He doesn't need to score 23, 24 and have the ball in his hands like he did last year, where he was just the game plan in some games, like throw LP the rock and let him work out. But when he does get the ball, he's great. He scores, and he always gets high quality shots. He's a great passer. You know that they can run stuff out of him or just post him in space. And if anyone helps, he's gonna find the right dude. But I just wanted to shout him out because I know I already talked about the Rockets a little bit, but for a guy to do that and to step away from the flashiness of, what kind of brought him to some relevancy league wide, that's awesome to me. I'm like, that's my John Gruden, got me feeling nice. Like Alperen Şengün, averaging less points and assists, averaging more rebounds and blocks. Play the music. That's my team of the week.
It's like, hey, Dick, bro.
Alperen Şengün.
I will say the main thing about Alp, you've been very, very outspoken by Alp, and I gotta give you your credit on that, because me personally, the one thing I was totally missed about him is his footwork. His footwork is extremely good, and that's one of the things that make him such a good drop defender now. Is his footwork is something that you couldn't have seen.
His foot speed has improved.
Foot speed, he's
always been coordinated.
But it's like his footwork is like now very efficient, where he's not a lot of wasted, not a lot of wasted steps, right? Because that's one of the things I say about Rudy Gobert. Exactly. That's one of the things I say about Rudy Gobert. That
wasted steps. Rudy,
he'll take a step for no reason away from a defender, like away from the ball handler, and you'll be like, why? And then he ends up getting out of the play. Versus Alpi, like, he's very efficient in his steps, and that's what makes him so good. Is I was like, that takes a lot of time to be able to get that down, and I got to give it to him. That's amazing. And and I we already talked about the Rockets, so we're not gonna go too long. And I will
one
say
last thing. Sorry, I wanted to throw in there. If you do want to watch a video about Alperen and why he's like how he's been different, Half Court Hoops on YouTube has a great breakdown of what he's doing differently and how he just looks different. To be able to do what he's doing on the defensive end this year. But I had to shout him out. I watched this video and I was like, whoa. Yeah. It made me go back and watch a few games and be like, man, he is like he's moving different. He's quite literally moving different, whether it's core strength, footwork, but just his ability to shift spaces more efficiently. More complete player. I like the way you said that, efficiently. Yeah. And
that's going to lead me right to my team of the week. And anybody that knows me knows what this team of the week is going to be. Let's go ahead and give it up for the Washington Wizards.
Clap it up, man.
Clap it up. Let's make this an extra loud clap. Make sure that everybody knows the Washington Wizards won a basketball game, guys. They won a basketball game. And we are now not the Pistons. Guys, we did it. We won against the Nuggets. Now, for everybody, this guy anything to say. Yes, Jokic had 56, 10, and 8, I'm pretty sure. Yes, did Jokic absolutely whoop the hell out of us. But who won the basketball
16
game?
and 8?
Oh, my God, this would be worse than I thought. Yeah, but a pool party calmed all that shit down. All right, 39 from Jordan Poole, and I think he had 8 and 6. Fact check that for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, best
39, 8 and 5. Close enough.
8-5. Okay, that's very close. Yes, that Jordan Poole. My God, I'm just so glad we got this dude on our team, and I will say, Kuzma not playing basketball is always good basketball, but I will admit if he could have been a part of this, I would have lost my mind, but I can't. Somebody else needs to shout out Bub Carrington. Dude, if y'all don't know about Bub Carrington now, y'all, hey, I'm gonna make sure that
Bub's nice.
Bub is nice, and I need to let everybody know every single time I watch a Wizards game that this dude is nice. He's leading all rookies.
He's gonna be a starting point guard one day. He's gonna be a starting point guard. There's no doubt in my mind.
I'm gonna say this right now. This is filmed, so I'm gonna say this right now. I can either be the biggest dumbass on the planet, or I'm gonna be absolutely amazing. Bub Carrington is gonna be all-star one day.
Okay, hey, that's not that crazy.
And I would say 2 years from now, 2 to 3 years from now, I anticipate Bub Carrington being an all-star in the East. I believe in this dude that much, and it might sound crazy. I don't give a damn. I watch the Wizards win a basketball game. This is what happens to a Wizards fan when they watch wins. They can't think straight. They can't think rationally no more. I see the future now. Now, could we lose another 14 games? I don't care.
I didn't realize there were 3. I thought the Pelicans were the worst team in the league. I didn't realize 3-19.
We're the worst. No. We're not. There's nothing the Pelicans can do to be worse than us. They could put out a whole G League team, and it does not matter. We will always be worse.
This box score is hilarious, dude. You got Marvin Bagley played 16 minutes, scored not 0 points.
Not a
had
single
one
point.
assist and 2 rebounds. Johnny Davis played 3 minutes less, had 7 points and more rebounds than Marvin Bagley did in the same amount of assists.
Justin Champagnie had 21 to 23. I forgot which.
Had 23, bro.
23.
Which one is he? There's 2 Champagnies in the league.
One Champagnie is on the Spurs. And Justin is
Julian. He went to Pitt.
Yeah, Julian is
Justin went to Pitt.
There you go. And Julian's the older one, I'm pretty sure.
And he's more of like a guard, and Justin is kind of like a forward, right? Am I totally wrong about that?
It's like a Morris twin situation, actually, weirdly.
Yeah, Justin.
Where one is more of a guard, one is more of a forward. But Justin can shoot the hell out of the ball, though. I don't know. I don't know about Julian because I don't watch the Spurs like that. But
Julian's 6'8". He's taller than Justin. I'm an idiot.
Julian's 6'8".
Whatever. Yeah.
I mean, I've just been watching Justin. I don't know what's going on what the other one got going on. I wish I cared, but I've been watching this team, and honestly, I'm fired the hell up, man. I will say that the day after, 2 days after, sorry. This is recorded on Monday. At the day after this game against the Grizzlies, we lost by 30. So we're right back to regular schedule programming, but it was nice to get that win in there. To really
Super Bowl
good.
hangover. That was y'all's Super Bowl. Like, it was big emotional. We got one.
See, now we're gonna get back to winning in a little bit, as I anticipate. And obviously there's no stats to back up they're gonna win another game, in anytime soon. We do play the Hornets.
Let's look at the schedule here.
So we play the Hornets on this stretch, and I know we can win that game.
You sure? Oh wait, no, I'm an idiot.
Am I ever sure, Nick? If I say the Wizards can win a basketball game, do you think I'm sure?
No, I'm saying, are you sure they play the Hornets?
Oh no, okay, yes, they're very sure they play. Well, I remember they recently played the Hornets, and they have like next 5 or 6 games. I'm pretty sure the Hornets is up in there. Yeah,
LaMelo's hurt still, right?
See, yeah, that's not for you.
Dude, listen to this stretch.
But
Cavs, this is y'all's next
Merc.
5 games.
It's terrible.
Cavs, Celtics, Hornets, Bucks, Thunder.
You know what?
Not great.
If we come out with 2 wins in that stretch, pack it up. We're going to the finals next year. If we come out with 2 wins, all right, I'm saying it now, because there's almost no way in hell we do. But I gotta say, straight up for this team, good win, guys. Wizards fans, I know we're looking for anything to be happy about, but we know Jordan Poole is a bucket. Glad we got him. The rookies look decent. Bo Carrington looks great. And I will say, for Marvin Bagley, somebody that I was not very high on, should never say that, but was higher than everybody else. I think we should go on to the next segment.
Shout out Wizards. Shout out the Wizards.
Shout out Wizards.
All right, we can just roll right into it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go and get to it.
We got Real Hoop Hours coming up.
Yes, sir.
The hour of real hoop conversation.
There we go.
I like this
introduce
question.
the topic for us?
Yeah, and I'll open it up to you.
Okay.
All right. So the question is, historically, is it worth it to build around a center in the NBA? And historically can mean last year, it can mean 10 years ago, it can mean 20, 30, 40 years ago. And eventually, of course, we want to get to where the game is now. Is it worth it to do that? But, when we start in the past, you look at Bill Russell, you look at Kareem, you look at give me another one. I mean, I guess, I don't know, the Rockets build around Yao Ming.
Yeah, I was say Hakeem,
Shaq.
Pat,
Shaq. The answer is yes. Hakeem,
there you go.
Patrick Ewing, you're right. But I think the answer was yes, and obviously it was because the 3-point shot had not evolved in the understanding of the analytics behind, you got to take more, taking more threes if you got guys that can make them, and obviously the game evolving helps with that. But when we get to now, that's where I want to open it up to you, because you had this great thought about a specific player that kind of sparked this. But I don't know. I'm not sure about what I think about this and what I think the answer will be. But I'll ask the question: is it worth it to build around a center right now?
Yes. Oh no, my answer is no. Sorry. I don't feel like it is worth it, because one of the things I've talked about a million times, and nobody likes to agree with me on this point until recent of that I don't like post-up basketball in the way of where I don't like that being your main source of offense outside of a dude that is named Nikola Jokic. Because for the simple fact that it usually leads to a lot more stagnant basketball than a lot of people like to admit. Where I flip it to Joel Embiid, who is somebody who obviously has injury issues, but I personally think his style of basketball leads directly to stagnant, like bad offense a lot of times. And I think in today's NBA, where other teams are playing at extremely historically high levels of efficiency, there's no way in the world you could play a very post-up heavy offense. Which to me also, entertainment-wise, also isn't that good. Is another thing that I add to it. Ticket prices aren't going up because you're posting up your center 30 times. And this is something I put together as a reason of why I would never at least get a post-up center. Now, we're talking about Wemby, somebody that isn't a very heavy, that's actually way too heavy on the perimeter, but it's somebody that I like in the future when it comes to the way he plays with a very versatile brand of mid-range to three-point shooting. I think that's what I want going forward, not post-up bigs. And that's why building around a center, to me, I know we love Alpi. That's not what I want for my
He can't be the game plan, and you win a championship. Not a guy. I mean, they did it with Jokic, and Alperen is probably the closest thing to Jokic that we have right now. Maybe Sabonis, but Jokic being able to like space the floor serviceably is the biggest difference between Alperen and Sabonis, because those guys can't do it, and that really does end up being a big issue with them. And also, neither of those guys up until this year, Sabonis cannot move left. He cannot move laterally whatsoever. He's a bad defender.
Not in any way possible.
He's just big.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Another point. Another point like about Jokic though is what I'm saying is like what makes him different is he's like extremely efficient when it comes to as a scorer, but when it comes to as a passer, he sees the game extremely well and is as good as you could possibly be as when it comes to the timing, when it comes to passes from the post,
just
from
vision
the low post
in general too.
Yeah, his vision
and just passing the ability to get the ball there and put it exactly where it needs to be. And you're like Embiid doesn't have that. They can't. They're like when they space out and they give him the rock in his spot. It's like, all right, like hope you score.
Score now. Yeah.
There's nothing else that's you're gonna either score or you're not gonna score. And I think something that's interesting, and we talked about high usage guys last episode, which was great. If you didn't listen to the episode, go back, listen to at least our Real Hoop Hour segment where we talk about is it good to have extremely high usage players on your team? But we talked about the wear and tear of having a high usage dude on your team and what it can do to their careers. Especially for these bigger dudes, like guys like Luka, like just bigger, that way more, that their bodies are taking a little more punishment because of their own mass. Embiid isn't this, like at least not consistently. He's not this put his shoulder into your chest dude, because people think that causes wear and tear in basketball. It really doesn't. Embiid doesn't put his shoulder into people's chests more often and go like strictly on the block because he's soft. It's not because he's like, oh, my knee, like he's soft. Playing on the perimeter and sizing dudes up and having to and trying to blow by guys, that's going to put wear and tear on your knees. That's why he's always injured. He doesn't want to post up. Like that's it. It's his knees, it's his back, whatever. Like either way, I can go on a whole Embiid
also when he
soft
does
rant.
do those post ups. I'm about to say you can go on for hours with that. But it's like one of the things that I also say about how Embiid posts up. Oh, yeah,
please continue.
I'm actually going.
I have a good idea.
I'm actually going to turn this point a little bit. But my thing about Embiid is that he actually, when he does post up, he has a style of posting up that I hate called the high school center that coach is yelling to score, where he literally sits there and just says, whoosh, 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 and then just throws his body places. And it's like, hey, Joel, I turned the point different where you go, because I get very frustrated, Joel, because I'm like, hey, you could very easily, because you're way bigger than everybody, just softly post up.
Just lean on dudes.
Go 1 or 2 times. Yeah, just lean 1 or 2 times. And then, or you don't have to do the opposite of just standing. You could just lightly post up so that you can get the ball out your hands when they double. Not wait till they double, put it above your head, then pass. You could lightly post up. And that's one of the things that I'm like, hey, is somebody telling him this? Can somebody please relay the information that he doesn't have to run through people's chests just to do it? Because that's where I think wear and tear happens in the post. Is because when he does that, people have to hit him back. That's going to lead to wear and tear.
And that's impact. And like you look at the way that a Şengün and a Jokic get to their spots, it's just by like they lean on a guy. And when you lean on someone and you're just that big, they have to lean back. And then you can, and the thing is like, you can use that against them. I mean, it's like a jujitsu. It's like when someone's push against you and you get out of the way, now they're off balance. I don't know if that's even jujitsu, but with like post defense, that's the way it is. It's like you're having to lean on them, but also having to match exactly where the force is happening, where if they lean this way and you move this way and they quickly do that, then you're falling forward, you're out of position, and like they didn't have to take any true like hard impact the whole time. And that's why Nikola Jokic is never hurt.
That's a good post up. That's a good post up to me. That's
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
that's why
you're right. I like that high school coach, like, hey, go get to the rim, and they just shoulder in the chest, shoulder in the chest, shoulder in the chest, and then Embiid like will either from there like just throw his arms in the air and throw the ball in the air, get to the line, or if he doesn't get to this body once, he stops, he turns around to his opposite shoulder, and he fades away. And that's the point that I thought you were going to make. That when he does actually post up, it ends in like baiting a foul or just fading away, which is soft.
That's what I'm saying. That was why I was like, oh, that goes into the soft thing. That's why I want to pull it back a little bit. I was like, nope, this is a better point. Because the thing is about Joel, he is the epitome. He's the pretty much as good as it gets when it comes to modern post-up basketball. As much as people don't like to admit it, Joel has a very good brand of what the actual style is. Of when it comes to the foul baiting,
pisses me off though.
Yeah, very, very much. Because like somebody, like I'll point out somebody, like, you know, for example, like in the older days of basketball, like Al Jefferson, right? Where Al used to get it, and he's trying to shake you, like he's trying to move you off the spot, and that's one of the things where Joel, he does that a lot, and it looks good when he does do it. But when we go to Jokic, you can't. It's like you can't do that constantly throughout the whole game, because at a certain point, one, it's gonna mess your knees up, definitely by being 7 feet tall. Secondly, dudes are gonna figure the moves out at a certain point because there's only a certain set amount of moves you could do from the post. And third, it stops the offense. This is one of the things I've always been harping on, and old heads hate when I say this. When you throw the ball to the post and they don't double, everything stops. And you
can't have movement. Offense. You can have like weak side movement. You can't have guys cut. Like one thing that we preach with the high school team that I coach is that if anyone comes to a stop in the paint, picks up their dribble, and like is just on 2 feet, cuts need to be happening.
Yeah,
you have to cut. And in something that we don't do quite as much because we run like Princeton offense and everything's kind of high, but whenever the ball does get into the post, you can still weak side exchanges can happen. You can run one action that's great on a post up is a weak side flare. Is just have like
great
dude in the corner.
Really good passer from there.
If you have a good passer, and that's the difference that Embiid is just he's not. He simply is not. When he gets the ball, he's looking to score, and that's all. Like you can play that brand of basketball, but like
so let me
all
give a
these things you're
disclaimer on
bringing
that.
up doesn't
Let
win.
me give a disclaimer on that because somebody will correct us on that. Joel is a good passer when he's already anticipating where he needs to go. He's not a good passer when he has to just react and make a pass. I had to get that disclaimer because everybody tries to make this point.
I mean, you can tell when there's a set, when they feed him the ball and there's a set being run. It's like, hey, look at this. If you don't get anything, then go at it. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Eye test, we know he's looking for something. So then he makes like this great pass across the court. It's like he was staring at it for like 3 seconds. So I'll let you keep going.
I want to ask you. Yeah, I want to ask you. I kind of want to turn this around here and just because I feel like right now the answer is like, yeah, unless you have Nikola Jokic on your team, it's probably not a good idea to build around a center. But there are some guys who are technically, or maybe not technically, but just big guys, massive dudes that you could play them at the 5, but I think they don't play the 5 traditionally. Like a Giannis. I think it is a good idea to build around a guy like Giannis, 100%. On defense, Giannis is effectively your center. And I mean, I know the Bucks are a unique situation because they have Brook Lopez, and he's a massive human being as well and a true center. Like, granted, a stretch 5, he can shoot it on the offensive end, but he acts as another, as a more of a traditional rim protector where Giannis can be a help side rim protector. He can go guard the other team's best 3 through 5, depending on where you need him. And then Brook can kind of lurk or guard a big bodied center like a Jokic or, you know, maybe not an Embiid. You probably want Giannis on Embiid, but I see Giannis as like, he's a center. I don't care. He's listed as a point guard / power forward. He's a center. And they just play 2 centers. But, and man, I feel like Bucks fans are just like writhing. For whatever reason, fans of teams hate it when I say that, like, hey, this guy is listed as this, but he's really like, this is his natural position is to be here.
Because
and I mean, it's Giannis's natural position. Chet
they've been fighting to tell people that not. They've been fighting this whole fight of be like, hey guys, Giannis is he's not a point guard. And then you'd be like, all right, cool. Well, I think he's a center. No, he's not a center. All right. It's like, all right, guys. I guess
realistically, he's a power forward, but he's a 7'1" freak athlete that can't shoot the ball. Whatever. He's for the sake of this argument, I want to call him a center. How about that? We can agree.
Super athletic center.
For the sake of this argument. Exactly. Like,
yes.
7'1" freak athlete. Center. Can't shoot the ball either. Center.
Yeah. Well, I also do think Giannis if we were to look 10 years in the future, like players that are like Giannis's build are just gonna be 5s. Like players that are around 7 feet and are that athletic. Coaches,
no matter what else you can do, you just play the 5 and just do all those things at the 5. You can still, like Jokic. No one says Jokic isn't a center, but how many times do we see him being the ball handler on a pick and roll?
Yeah,
pretty often. Doesn't mean he's not a center.
Like really often. Yeah, and that's why I say it's like every year, and that's why I said about the progression, the evolution of basketball is that every year the coaches that are just very old school in their approach of you're a big dude, you do this, they get weeded out more and more every single year. So now we're at a point like now where if you see a coach like that, he's most likely on his last leg. And now
I don't know if there's any guys like that left.
No, I think Doc Rivers is like the last one.
Gone. Tibbs
and Tibbs
has got a little bit of that. Yeah, I think he's playing Cat. Cat still plays, and honestly,
he's playing well too.
In my book, and this is where Knicks fans get mad. Karl Anthony Towns is a power forward. He's a power forward.
Look, he's a power forward that's going to play the center because it's more efficient for him to play the center.
Because their other center is Jericho Sims. How about that?
And that's why I say, like, in the future, all these coaches are just going to sit there and say, I want my big, tall, athletic dude to just be the 5. I don't care if he's huge. I don't care if he's got a bunch of muscle. I'm just going to put him at the 5. and I'm just going to go ahead and have 5 dudes on the perimeter, and there's going to be one really tall dude that can move really well. And
Claxton.
that's going to be and that's going to be the future. And that's where what I talked about earlier of how do you think you can build around the center? That's where I'm going to look stupid in 5 years, 10 years, is because they're going to be like, hey, this dude right here that is shooting 39% from 3, 7 feet, 245 pounds. Why don't you want to build around him? It's like, no, because he's not posting up. He's playing within the offense. If they're running a 5 out, like if you want like a Warriors cross screen, or maybe they run a ton of ball screen
like jazz,
action going
dribble
towards
drive,
the weak
5
side.
out stuff.
Yeah. Like they're doing a bunch of that, and they're incorporating him in it, not calling offense for him to get the ball, and then he has to make all the decisions. They allow a point guard to make the decisions and put him in the best spot possible. And then over time, hopefully, you can have that player also be a good passer. That is what I want out of centers going forward. That's what I want out of my center.
And I think a good comparison, and we can wrap it up soon here, but a good comparison is, or maybe we won't wrap it up, I don't know, but is I think like centers are slowly becoming the running backs of basketball, where it's like they're kind of replaceable. You know,
it's kind of hard.
It's like kind of hard. There's a few very specific situations where you're like, yeah, pay him, never let him go. As long as he works out, play him. But they usually have the shortest lifespan of NBA careers, you know, because they take the most just punishment. Their bodies aren't built to do that for bigger, very long.
Exactly. Knees go out quicker. Yeah. That's true.
But it's like hey, if they're a dime a dozen, is it a good idea to pay this one? You know, and I don't think it's to the same degree as running backs are in the NFL, but like,
it's not that far, but I see what you're saying though.
But it's starting to get there where it's like,
the run and jump center.
Let's go get Thomas. Let's get Thomas or Moses Brown or Thomas Bryant. You know, just because, to plug in at our backup 5 spot, or like a guy like Clint Capella. It's like, how many guys do what Clint Capella does?
Yeah, it's the
probably
run
like
and
20
jump
or so
centers.
dudes in the NBA.
The ones that the Kenneth Free builds. Those are the ones that are like
taller,
the running backs.
Longer. You got to be
taller. Yeah, it was a taller, longer dudes there. Just Isaiah Jackson, for example, on front of Pacers.
Yeah,
it's
he's
like
not even that.
Those type of
how
dudes.
How tall is he?
He's like 6.
Sorry, continue.
10? Yeah, no, but like the thing about the NBA is that those dudes are extremely replaceable now. Now coaches, now GMs and coaches will literally be like, yeah, you can just let him go. We can literally draft another dude that does that right now.
You can go to the G League and get a dude that does that right now. And that's 23.
And they don't care. And the crazy thing is, they don't care how efficient that dude is. They don't care what the analytics say anymore. They're like, nope, can he shoot a 3? No. Well, sorry, buddy. Go ahead, send you to the G League, and then now they're getting weeded out. And that's where it's like, there's still value in these players, but over time, like Jericho Sims, a decade ago, he's playing on an NBA court. Like that's the problem.
He's
starting.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. He's like this.
He's 6'11" and he can jump jumping. How high? It's like now it's like
give him $100 million right now. Yeah.
Do you know who Isaac Jones is?
Isaac Jones.
Do you know who Isaac Jones plays for the Kings right now?
Oh yeah. There we go. Yeah.
He was he's not like, he was a G leaguer, but he was working for a truck loading company. Grew from 6'4" to 6'9", like right after high school. His shift manager convinced him to go play JUCO, like community college basketball.
Yeah,
I think went to an open tryout for the Stockton Kings, and he got called up, and he's playing like rotation minutes for the Kings. Giving him like nice little bench like spurts, but like it shows you like these guys are everywhere, and this is a 6'9" freak athlete. Like also got a little bit of like he's got some game.
Because he was 6'4", he kind of has that like guard background.
Yeah, he looks like he was like maybe a 4 or 5 and like on a mediocre high school team, but was really skilled. But like had to play the 4 or the 5 like out of necessity. But you go to 6'9", man. He's got a nice little bag, dude. I think he could be like he's at right now. He had a game. He had like 15, I think. Let me see here.
Yeah, and I think weirdly stories
12.
like this are going to happen.
He had 12 2 games in a row.
12. There we go. There you go. Hey, 7, my boy gets buckets out there.
Playing like 16 minutes, 9 minutes, 19 minutes. Pretty cool.
Yeah, dudes like that are going to – I feel like that's going to happen a lot more now where teams are like, oh, we have no shot blocking. All right, let's just find some dude in the G League. He's tall, he's fast. Yeah, go ahead, just bring him in, and then we'll throw him in for 10 minutes to see if he's impacting the game well. Oh, he is. Okay, cool. We'll keep him on team. That's what it feels like it's going to be now. Is now the running jump centers are just going to be whoever we can get. Like,
it's dime a dozen, don't care. For sure. I mean, Moses Brown, bro. Like, what did I tell you? Like, I mean, I will say another eating my vegetables moment. Karl Anthony Towns, he's doing some of the things that I said he wasn't going to be able to do. One of them being rebound the ball at a high rate. He's been doing what he needs to do.
I'm highly surprised by that, but that sounds like Tibbs to me.
He's not
sounds like a
really
Tibbs,
the rim protector situation. I think they expected, or that they didn't. He's not the rim protector that they're losing, that they're not playing right now. And like, obviously you lose iHeart and Mitchell Robinson is just perma hurt. But either way, he's getting you like a block a game.
He said perma hurt.
He's perma hurt, just forever.
He's forever.
Some dudes are perma fried. Some dudes are perma hurt.
Yeah, Robert Williams syndrome.
Both. He's perma fried and perma hurt. Funny enough, weird off topic thing, and I guess we can probably move on. But
there you go.
My buddy actually played at the same school as me. Walked on, had like it was a preferred walk on at A&M, and like walked into his dorm, and he had a random roommate. It was Robert Williams. He said, dude, like showed up in like a beater and camo Crocs, and like just was like country as hell, dude.
Yeah, I was saying
my buddy was only there for like a month or so, but he was like,
okay.
I'm saying my buddy was only there for like a month or so. Lived with Robert Williams for a little bit.
Chill, dude.
Shout out Noah.
But that is all we got for Real Hoop Hours. That we got that out the way. We do got some therapy to go through.
I need a release.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Post Thanksgiving, we need some. It's been some stressful times, but now we get to sit with me and Nick and really get some problems off our chest. And me this week, I have a offensive foul on somebody that you'll figure out in this story will be described. And the thing was that in this story, the start of this, I was picking up my homie from work. He works at Publix. All right. And I was just driving back to his house, and it was going to be a very simple situation. But he said, hey, can we stop by the grocery store just so I could grab something real quick? Right. I was like, all right, fine. All right, no issue. We're just going to go in, have a great time. I was going to grab some stuff I need for the apartment. Simple situation. He gets out, and he's wearing his Publix lime green shirt. And it's a Publix shirt. It's extremely bright.
That's a bright green.
You can't.
I know the green all too well.
Oh yeah, you can't dodge this. And the thing is, the point that I have to add into this is that we are two African American males walking into this Harris Teeter with this super lime green shirt on his body.
Oh, you're wearing the ops shirt. I thought you were walking into a Publix.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we was walking to Harris Teeter, right? Because it was just next to it, right? As we walk in, there's this man that sees us, this old white Southern man that sees us, and he out loud, extremely loud, as we was walking into this Harris Teeter, says, "I know y'all was allowed in here." Loud as hell, right? And we're like, now I am frozen. So I'm like, so I'm trying to save him now at this point, right? So my boy, he wasn't gonna say a word. So now I'm like, excuse me, sir, what'd you say exactly? He was like, I know y'all was allowed at Harris Teeter. Man, what now? They allow you guys to walk in. He kept going. So now I'm like, oh my God. And the thing is now I'm like, I gotta save the situation somehow. But guess what? I look behind him. There are a group of 3 appalled white women. Absolutely appalled.
That's They're standard for Charlotte, North Carolina. There's always 3 appalled white women somewhere, bro.
In every single situation, no matter what you do, they're gonna be there. So I'm like, I look at them and I'm like, oh God. I'm like, oh God, no. Please let this situation die out. And he's like, and then it just didn't click in his head. That like, this is not a good scene. Right? So then all I hear, and all I hear is, what'd you say? And then he's like, oh, I was just saying, how are they allowed in the Harris Teeter? And he's just still going. And then she's like, are you serious right now? Oh my God, how can you say that? And then I'm like, all right. We ran back to the car. I'm like, I'm not doing this no more. Right? But then she's like, you don't have to be scared. And I'm like, oh God. Now she's saving she thinks she's saving me from racism. So now I'm like, this is a terrible situation.
She's just saving you from grocery store rivalry.
Yeah. That's the thing. This dude, and the thing is, like, I was like,
that's what he was referring to, right?
That's exactly what he was referring to.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if that was already supposed to be understood or if that was a punchline that was coming. Sorry if I spoiled it.
Yeah, no, you're good because he pointed at our shirts. Like, he pointed at his shirt as he was saying that. But the white ladies behind him couldn't see that.
Didn't see. Okay.
So now I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, guys. He was talking about, the lime green shirt as we're going into Harris Teeter. And then she was like, oh, really? Is that really what he meant? And I was like, I swear to God. And then he's like, what else could I mean?
Hey, shout out this old guy. So not racist. So incredibly not racist that he doesn't even understand how that situation could have been considered racist.
He had he was so lost. And then I was like, hey, man, I just want to let you know. Don't do that again. Because the white ladies walked again. They walked away. They walked away. And as they were still appalled because they didn't believe it, I just talked to him for a little bit. I was like, hey, man, just don't do that again. He's like, well, what's wrong, man? I'm like, you can make jokes.
For the sake of your safety. Not everyone would want to try to find the good in that, maybe it's a misunderstanding if they didn't understand what you meant initially.
No, the situation where you're looking at 2 black males, it's country. Keep in mind, country, old, white. Brother, you can't get out this situation unscathed. You have might as well understand what you have to understand the situation. You have to understand time and situation. That is not the time and situation to get that joke off. I am sorry.
I mean,
it was
that's a tough look. That's a tough look. It's like you're gonna be there's gonna be some preconceived notions about what you're saying just because of the way you look, man. Welcome to racism.
Yeah, welcome to racism. Because
that's how it works sometimes.
If he was like any other demographic, he probably got out that way better.
He's beating the allegations.
Yeah.
It's like, let's find out what he really means. They're like, nah, dude. He's like, he may have had a piece of, he might as well have had a piece of wheat coming out of his mouth, and he had overalls, a straw hat. He might as well
had overalls on. Yeah.
Oh, he had overalls on.
He has overalls on, tough. Brother. You can't get out that situation acting like they wasn't gonna assume that.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I was sitting there, I was like,
though. I love this guy.
I loved him. He had such great energy. Even after that, he was just kind of embarrassed, and I was like, look, man, you can make jokes like that, just don't be loud. All right. And then, and
don't announce it to the whole store. It's like, your kindness is welcome here. Nuts.
Because that's what I'm saying. I was telling him, look, man, if you got recorded, your job is over. Whatever you're doing in your life, it's done. You might not want to be that loud. And then he was like, all right, man, I was just trying, I was just having a good day. So I was just making sure. I'm like, you know what? Don't let a good day be a bad one. Just understand what you're saying and really make a good decision next time. And he was like, oh man, I appreciate you not, seeing my joke as that. I'm like, you know what? For half a second I did. For a good, I was honest with him. I was like, I'm not gonna act like I'm some saint. For half a second, I had to look at the shirt. I was like, oh yeah, he does have a public shirt on. Okay, great. What the context also of me being in the really nice part of town was also where it was like, this doesn't look great in this situation. But
I know the Harris Teeter you're talking about too.
Yeah, no, his name was Randy.
And I know that, like,
great dude, man.
Yeah,
great.
Randy.
Of
course, his name was
Randy.
Of course, his name was.
He
Randy.
fits every. Now, I will say straight up, Randy fit every single box of a dude that would say that without a green shirt being in that situation. But great,
visually,
dude.
At least. Yeah.
Yeah, visually, every single. If you just straight up looking at him is like, you would assume the worst from him. But Randy was a great dude. He even said he liked my hair. He said, I'll get my hair
that's always an interesting compliment to get from like old white people. As a black man, I'm sure it's just like, your hair is so interesting. You're like,
yeah,
thanks?
This is the thing. I cut Randy off with the hair thing.
So, hey, let's stop while we're ahead here, Rand.
I was like, Rand, we can't keep doing this. We can't keep messing this up. All right, Randy.
Oh man.
You're doing it. He's so, and it was so funny because he's so non-racist. This man is such a open, good person that he cannot comprehend it. He just simply was like, I thought it was a great joke. He said, I thought it was a great joke. And I was like, Randy, it is a great joke. All right, you just gotta introduce it a little bit better. Also, check your surroundings. Yeah, that's probably, if he would have hit a
look both ways
and then made a joke. Oh yeah, we were fine. But that was one of the funniest things that happened to me recently, and it was beautiful. And again, Randy,
let's get Randy on the show.
I'm about to say Randy. Now I will say he probably gonna get in trouble too. It's like he's like the weird.
I'm gonna ask him some leading questions.
Yeah,
be like, why do you feel about this whole like Israel-Palestine thing, Randy? What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, he's done. He's the most like problematic person you can find.
Oh yeah,
and that's why I loved about him is that he's so problematic for the fact that he doesn't understand what he's saying. Randy is one of the most interesting people I've ever been around in a while. So I had to get that off my chest, and I gotta call that an offensive foul on the three white ladies, but not much of it because we could barely call it on them. It's 99% of situations they were right to be appalled.
But shame on them for assuming without context. That's a big problem in the world. Is everyone sees one snippet of something and assumes the worst immediately. So you know what? Full offensive foul at three white ladies.
There we go. Also, and I'm gonna give a tech to Randy. By the way, I'm gonna give a tech to Randy.
Bench warning. Bench warning? Or you at full tech? I'll leave that up to you.
I'm gonna give him a bench warning. All right.
Okay.
We gotta keep that down, Randy. We gotta filter these jokes.
The bench warning is like hey, I don't want to actually get you in trouble, but I am gonna just like embarrass you because you need to know that that's not okay what you just did.
Yeah, there we go.
That's what a bench warning is for.
I need to point you out because we can't keep going with this. Because also the funny thing about it is that my homie legit didn't say a word the whole time. He was so struck with confusion, with baffling, with white women screaming that he didn't say a word. And he could have make or broke this situation.
Well, mine is actually just about food mostly. But
Right back.
I don't even know what to call this because I'll call this one. I gave up a run. We gave up a run, like 20-0 run. We didn't call it timeout. We kept thinking like we Jason Kidded the situation. We're just like, we'll figure it out.
Darvin hands in pockets the situation.
Hands in the pockets, yeah. So, so basically, I coach high school basketball. We lost the game on the road Thursday night. Played horrible. Not horrible. We were bad though. I don't want anyone to
give the kids some slack.
If any kids listen to the show, yeah, we were not horrible. We struggled to score, and it can be a little frustrating to watch sometimes. So we lose a game that they're a good team, but we probably should have won. And I called my girlfriend on the way home, talking to her. I'm like, yeah, kind of a bad mood, but I'm just trying to cover it all up. And I'm like, it's already 9. When you coach high school basketball, you leave for a game at like 5:45, 6-ish, and then like you get back at 9. So you like don't have time to cook anything, unless you want to eat like a senior citizen at like 5:30. But I'm like I'm driving around where I live, and everything here closes on the weeknights at like 9, and it's 9:10. And so I go to one place that says online that it's open. On the door, I look at the times. It says it's closed at 9. I'm like, oh, whatever. I go to Panda Express. There's people in there eating. It says on the door that they're still open, and the door's locked. And I knock on the door, and they like are trying not to look at me. And I'm like, no, you're gonna look at me. You're gonna look at me, and I just keep knocking. And then eventually she looks up and she goes, "What?" I'm like, don't you do that to me right now. And I'm all this time I have my girlfriend on the phone, listen to her. She's like went to a birthday party that night and was telling me about the party, and I'm trying to like yeah, I can listen and engage, but I'm like, I'm starving, and the first place I went to was closed. Now this place is closed. Starting to lose my mind a little bit. And then she just yells, "Drive-through only," and I'm like, Let me in and let me get my freaking food. I don't want to do it's Panda Express. I make my decisions based on which one looks the most appetizing out of all the food that's been in there for the last 15 hours. But that bothered me. And then I went to a third place, went to Jersey Mike's, closed too, even though it said that they're open until 9:30. They're just closed. There's no one even in there. I can't see anyone. Yeah. So I'm pissed. And then I just have like an outburst. I'm like, I'm sorry, girlfriend, but I have been to 3 different food places, and all 3 of them have been closed when they shouldn't have been. And I'm losing my mind. And so then like, I don't know. It was just such a bad situation. It's not funny. It's not fun, but we just gave up a run.
It just kept
and at the end of that, and here's the cherry on top. Is that my girlfriend was telling me a story, and then I interrupted her with that, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, what were you saying? And she's like, I don't remember. She's like, it's not important. I don't remember. I'm like, no, don't do that. It's like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's going to get brought up later. Yeah, it's going to get brought up later. Yeah.
No, she was cool about it. She understood. She's like, seriously, I kind of didn't remember where I was at. Eventually, I think we found it, but it took a bit of time where I was like, okay, like
there we go.
I'm good. I'm good now. All right, I'm good. I'm just gonna go to Fusackley's. Shout out Fusackley's. And most people don't. The only Alabama, Florida people will know about that. But yeah, that's my
I've never heard
session.
that in my life.
It's like a Raising Cane's clone. It's solid fried chicken. Yeah,
it sounds like a sock brand. It's good. They sell food. Okay,
Fusackley, baby. Foo. So, hey, let's get some foo.
Now, wow.
Foo's nice. And they have like their foo sauce. Cool, and it's like the same exact thing as cane sauce.
Yeah.
So
I will admit, as you're talking about Fusackley's, this sounds like you're in an alternate dimension. Like I
interdimensional
like so
cable.
Lost. Yeah, I was like,
when I first moved here, I was like, foo, what now? But yeah, it's fire, dude.
But that's enough therapy for a little bit. Glad Nick got to get that off the chest. And glad I got to share Something that was probably really stressful for somebody else. But now
trauma dumping.
It's time to get very much. But it's time to get into our draft, which this week is NFL players. We're making the starting 5 point guard through center, and we're going to get a 6-man also. Are we doing coaches, Nick? Just to make sure.
Yeah, we'll do NFL coaches as NBA coaches.
There we go. You know what? That makes it even more fun. But I picked first last week. So in a draft like this, I feel like we already know who the number one pick is. But Nick, go ahead.
Here we are.
Go ahead. Nick, go ahead, pick your number one pick, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him at the 2.
I'm just gonna scratch him off.
Actually, I'm gonna put him at the 3. We'll see if I move him around, but we're taking T. Higgins. I mean,
yeah, just scratch him
maybe
off
the most obvious 1-1. This is an all-time draft. However,
all time. Yeah, I forgot to say
all time. So the older dudes, though, we're going to be picking them off of straight physicals probably because there's not a ton of footage out there for some of the old timers. But what there is a lot of footage for is anyone born after the year in like 1995. You're going to have some tape. And T. Higgins' tape is absolutely insane. It's disgusting. So T. Higgins, 1-1. I don't know if there's a better option.
You know, T. Higgins was absolutely insane. Like I like what like he was. I know he's athletic as hell, but like Jesus, he was throwing like
he was a good hooper
like,
too. He wasn't just like a freak athlete playing basketball. He was a hooper, bro.
Yeah, no, and that's why to me, my number one pick is going to be Antonio Gates. Actually, at the shooting guard position, Antonio Gates. If anybody
at the
didn't
2.
Know, at the 2, he was 6'4", and that's the thing. That's the tough thing. I can't put him at a small
have you seen him
forward.
play?
Yeah, it's a big look. I know. We're gonna slime to the 3. We're gonna slime to the 3 because I can't put him at the 4 because I have plans there. All right, I have like 4 options, so you're not gonna take it. But Antonio Gates averaged 20 points per game as a senior for Kent State and led his team to the Elite 8. He legit was a top flight hooper. So
Didn't he play the 4 in college?
He was a big man, but it was 2000, so 6'4" wasn't a problem at the power forward position.
That's
so
fair.
he was 2002 when he played. Antonio Gates was an extremely good hooper, and a lot of people
got it just as a forward. That's fair.
Yeah, he was without and not a guard. So we actually could go the 3, but I had to just get him on the tape because we got a bucket getter, all right, to compete with T, who I actually need to see him get a pickup game at this point because I'm terrified. But you go ahead, T. Higgins, but I will go with Antonio Gates.
All right, okay. So I'm putting T at the 3. Actually,
Okay.
I might slide T to the 2.
Matchup. Wow,
I might slide T to the 2, and I'm gonna put Randy Moss at the 3. Randy Moss.
We go take him off my list. Yeah.
There's some tape of Randy Moss. This isn't one that we have to be like, oh, well, he's probably gonna be good, like because he's big, he's athletic. Like no, he went to the same high school as Jason Williams, White Chocolate, and he was catching lobs from Jason Williams every single game, which is dope. But I'm taking Randy Moss. I'm putting him at the 3. I'm sliding T to the 2, and and we're moving on.
Okay, all right, respect. You know that was a good pick. I gotta get it to you. But actually, to be my next pick is I'm gonna get out the way early. My power forward. I'm gonna be Jimmy Graham at the power forward.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Who also played in college, 6'8", like I think it's like 240. Is a tank, and now from what I saw, did not have a jumper. He's out there to be athletic, get rebounds, and dunk. And with Antonio, we need, with him being undersized, we need some height out there. So we're gonna go ahead and have Jimmy Graham at the power forward position. One of my favorite tight ends ever.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham. Hey, maybe that's what the Saints need this year. They just need Jimmy to re-sign for 1 year. Maybe that'll turn it around for him.
I wish my boy was good still, man. But yeah, I'm pretty confident so far. You got the finesse picks. I got my bigs secured. So
and I'm going to stay with the finesse picks. My power forward is going to be Calvin Johnson. We're just taking Megatron.
Okay.
Just be you. Go play
just
D.
Make
go
sure.
Rebound.
Yeah, we don't know if he ever played basketball, right? We don't. We're not sure about that.
We don't know.
Okay.
But I'm taking Megatron. Just go rebound. Like he's gonna be a ball mover, set screens, crash, roll to the rim. I mean, I can tell you right now that Megatron could dunk with ease. Like just catch.
Probably today.
Just gotta teach him how to not travel on a 1-2.
There you go. Just be athletic out there. All right, that's a good idea. And that's for me. My next pick. I'm really going off the rails for what I did from the logic I just used. But F it. My point guard, we're gonna go Lamar Jackson.
Can he hoop?
I assume he can. Now there is no film of Lamar Jackson playing basketball in any way possible. But if you look at Lamar Jackson and watch and see the athlete he is, there's no way he can't play. He can't play a little bit of basketball. And he just did
quick Google search.
He did it. Yeah, he did. He just threw a touchdown like 3 weeks ago, doing the floater. Good form.
That's fair.
It was good form.
He played at Archbishop Carroll High School, was a standout point guard who regularly played among the best in the Catholic League, overcame an early season injury, blah, 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 whatever. He did play.
Bob, now, do they have stats? Or?
No. I found a Lamar Jackson that played at Shippensburg University in 2009, 2010. Very different Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. It's probably a few Lamar Jacksons on this planet. Not that many, but that's I personally I wasn't sure if he could hoop, but it was like I looked at him, I'm like, nah.
Whoa.
He can get
Here's
a bucket.
Something. So Donovan Mitchell tells a story because they were both at Louisville at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He said that we were having dunk contest my freshman year in the gym. Me, meaning Donovan, Lamar, some of the guys on the basketball team and the football team were out there, and Lamar was out there windmilling, throwing it off the wall, crazy stuff.
What?
That's nuts. So he can hoop.
And he's like 6'2".
Yeah.
He's not that tall either. Well, that's insane. See,
Lamar can hoop.
I knew
pick.
It. There you go. That actually might be an insane pick now. That I look back at. Yeah, that's I'm proud of my pick. Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
See, I'm
guard. Floor general.
You know
too.
what?
See,
I might shift everything down because right now I got 2, 3, 4. I might put Calvin Johnson at the 5 because Calvin Johnson was 6'6". No,
he was 6'5". I think he was 6'5". I remember Madden saying he was 6'5". But it's basketball, so he's gonna get listed as 6'7".
Fair. Also, who are going to be the tallest players? Is like what? Is one of us going to take like Dan Skipper, like 6'10", like a left tackle?
He 1,000% can't hoop though. Yeah, he's not. He's a cone.
I might shift everything down one. I'm going to take Justin Jefferson and put him at the 2.
Oh,
Justin Jefferson can actually hoop. So now
he's confirmed to be a hooper.
Now I got Justin Jefferson at the 2, T. Higgins at the 3, Randy Moss at the 4, Calvin Johnson at the 5.
And you're leaving the point guard position open.
And I'm leaving the point guard position because I was like, I don't want to. I need a point guard, but I can't not take Justin Jefferson. And I have my point guard in mind. I think he's going to slip. So.
Okay. So keep in mind, Jimmy Graham is basketball 6'8", football 6'6". So I will say,
I'm counting on Calvin Johnson's sheer athleticism to just cover those gaps.
Okay.
And we're going to put in some crafty defensive schemes to stop Jimmy.
Well, I will say,
you got bigs. We're going to space. We're going to space y'all out and make things trouble. You got Antonio Gates and Jimmy. Do you have a 4 yet?
Jimmy's the 4. Jimmy's 4.
Jimmy's
I moved him down.
You don't have a 5
I moved to Tony. No, I don't have a 5. And I'm actually going to pick my 5 now with Harold Carmichael, which anybody who's played Madden knows who Harold Carmichael is. Harold Carmichael. He's a 6'8" receiver for the Eagles who ran a 4.6. I put him at the center. I've never heard of
Harold Carmichael.
Modern today basketball. I need an athletic dude at that center position. 6'8".
He's 75 years old right now. Not that you'd be playing him now, but oh my gosh. He's going to go to the free throw line and shoot granny style. He's 75.
No, look, man. Look, I understand he's outdated, but all I need him to do is play defense, hang around the rim. He's a football 6'8". That man is a basketball 6'10" right there at the center position. Athletic as hell. Give me Harold Carmichael at the center.
All right.
Your justification for Calvin Johnson, I got that for Harold Carmichael.
Okay.
And I only know him because of Madden. And Madden just throws him out there every single year. And I'd never seen him get a single snap.
What, like Ultimate Team?
Yeah, Ultimate Team. Every single time.
Okay.
Which I haven't played Madden Ultimate Team in 3 years, but Harold's still there. So I hope he gets royalties for that too. But yes, I got Harold Carmichael at my center.
All right, I need a point guard, and this is the guy that I've been sitting on the whole time, Patrick Mahomes. Another can actually hoop guy. Okay. We got film.
Yeah, have we seen it?
And actually was a point guard. Like played his high school tape. He's solid. He's like punching on fast breaks. Like booming, bro.
He's genuinely tough. I didn't know he could get up until I saw the clip.
Yeah, well, now the thing is, like, now you look at him now, like quarterbacks, any pocket passer gets teams. I feel like get them a little heavier just so they can be a little more sturdy in the pocket and break some arm tackles. You don't want a Mike Glennon situation.
Yeah, even Lamar
he's put on a little weight. But yeah, so like I'm taking Pat. So the lineup is Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, and then we got to pick 6 men and coaches.
I will ask this right now, right? If we were to do this, if we were to host this, right? Are we doing right now Patrick Mahomes and right now Lamar Jackson hooping, or are we doing them? No, we're taking them at their
prime of hoop because we're doing it all the time. So I mean, you taking 75-year-old Harold Carmichael?
No, I'm saying like because Patrick and Lamar are in their primes for football now. That's what I'm saying. Though. Because Lamar would whoop the hell out of Pat, and we're talking about hooping now. That's why I was making sure, just making sure you're pick. But okay, I still like it. That Justin Jefferson pick looks a little better as you keep going down. But
T. Higgins too. I mean, definitely was better in high school than he is now.
Yeah, that's true. And now I have to go back to that T. Higgins pick and realize that I could have just picked this dude earlier, but Odell Beckham at the 2.
That's a good one.
I could have did this one. I for some reason I had Jamar Chase on here. I was like, brother, Odell Lilly's confirmed to be a hooper. I could
Odell easily done that.
And soccer player.
He can kick.
I think if it's a sport, he can probably do it. So.
He's playing for the Dolphins right now. I'm a Bills fan, so I just see the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. He gets no snaps, them. Right?
Nah, he doesn't really play much. He gets maybe a target a game, maybe. But
yeah, I mean,
the brightest candles burn the fastest.
Yeah, that was the Ravens' #1 receiver last year. So.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's nuts. We gonna let it go. But now it's 6 men. All right,
6-man time for your boy. I was thinking Odell, but I had decided I was going to pick this guy before you even picked Odell, so I'm happy that he stuck around. Keon Coleman. Played basketball at Michigan State.
Insane tape,
and he's a bucket. Like he's nice. His tape is crazy. Freak athlete. We're just another guard to plug in our scheme. Yep. We're just we're like
I like where you at with
2013 Nuggets with Kenneth Faried at the 5. So that's Calvin Johnson, and then we just got guards. And we're just gonna go.
All right. You know what? That's a really good pick. That's actually genuinely like a good informed pick. I'm going with a very other side of the spectrum. Not informed at all, but it would be funny as hell to have him on the court. We're gonna go with Larry Allen, regarded as the strongest man in the history of the NFL. 6'4", 330, and could bench 400 pounds.
Oh my gosh! Just a power
and
lifter.
We go have
you're designated. Go out there and foul someone hard.
We're taking people out the game. That's what we do.
T. Higgins is disintegrating with a foul from this man. What was his name?
Larry Allen.
Larry Allen.
He was regarded as like the strongest dude ever. They said literally he was lifting other D linemen mid game. He literally could grab your players and throw them across the court. So hopefully he doesn't pick up a flagrant too early. And we're gonna just have him as let's say T is having a little too good of a time. He's out here shifting and doing all this crazy stuff. Throw Larry in there.
Larry, teach him a lesson.
Larry, put your elbow on him, and hopefully that slows him down. So this is my defensive stopper that can't move side to side at all. Well, actually, he was an old lineman, so he's got some type of lateral movement. So he's gonna be good. Now, he's also 6'4", so
he'll move a little bit.
That's a shooting guard.
I love he's staying in front of anyone on my team, but he can move a little bit.
Hey, if he does, you're not.
He might stay in front of modern day Pat. Modern day Patrick Mahomes. He can slide with him. Maybe.
I will say that's a hell of a matchup for Pat.
Pat's a real hooper, though. I like my squad.
He can move, though. He can move.
My bigs are. I mean, I got just athletes, dude. Athletes and guards.
Yes.
I don't have bigs.
I will say definitively, Lamar Jackson's 1,000% was a better hooper than Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, but I mean, bro, like my other guys, T. Higgins and Justin Jefferson,
crazy.
And I got Keon Coleman coming off the bench. If it's like, man,
that's tough.
Pat can't stay in front of Lamar. Guess what? Keon, go check into the game.
Okay, there you go. I like that. You know what? Then that leads us to our coaches, which I already know you got a good idea for this, but I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take. I thought about taking.
Don't pick him. Don't pick him.
I thought about taking Mike Tomlin. Thought about it.
That's great. Yep.
But I'm not going to because I'm like, hey, we'll finish over 500. I'm taking a different Mike McDaniel.
All right.
New age.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Fun.
Modern basketball.
Players gonna love him. Modern basketball. He's gonna run like he's gonna be like Will Hardy for the Jazz. Just like we are going to revolutionize the dribble drive motion, and we're gonna that is a dribble drive motion team if I've ever seen a dribble drive motion team.
Yeah, no, he wants to be a basketball coach. You can tell he's like, I could joggers basketball coach stuff.
He's like, yeah, I'm a basketball coach.
Yeah, no, I think if you literally threw Mike McDaniel on a random college basketball team and then say, hey, you got 30 minutes to design some plays, he probably could do it.
He loves to learn.
I think it would be great.
All right, I'm curious for all your chanting. Who did you got here?
I feel like my voodoo was it worked because I didn't want you to pick Andy Reid, the Tom Thibodeau, this situation with that the most creative offensive play caller, maybe not the most of today's age, but one of the most creative offensive play callers we have in the NFL. I needed Andy Reid to complete this team.
I like it. I would only disagree to say that I feel like the Tom Thibodeau of the NFL was Bruce Arians. He was just like, guys, we get hurt, and he'd be like, you're soft. Yeah. Just like everybody. Also probably an alcoholic, both of them.
Definitely Tibbs. But
I feel like Tibbs might be one of those dudes that's just like he's always just been, just always been like white knuckling life in general.
Yeah,
they
say the players get confused when he smiles. They say it's like, oh, they get uncomfortable when he smiles.
Something's messed up. He's about to make us run or something. That's why he's smiling.
He's happy at our pain. He's not happy.
I like Andy Reid though.
Else. Yes, Andy
Reid's a
Reid
good
is going to
pick.
complete this team. I will let you go through your team, sir, one more time.
So we got Pat Mahomes at the 1, Justin Jefferson at the 2. No, sorry, T. Higgins at the 2, Justin Jefferson at the 3. Either way, I think they're pretty interchangeable.
Yeah,
Randy Moss at the 4, and Calvin Johnson at the 5. And then 6 man is Keon Coleman, with the team being led by none other than Mike McDaniel.
Okay. For me, my point guard is double, two-time MVP Lamar Jackson, and ridiculous athlete, mind you. I'm trying to sell this pick. 2 being Odell Beckham, 3 being Antonio Gates, 4 being Jimmy Graham, 5 being Harold Carmichael, with my 6 man being Larry Allen in there to cause problems, and my head coach will be Andy Reid, who I think should have been a basketball coach. So I personally think this is. I think I killed this. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't like Antonio at the 3. I don't think Antonio can play the 3.
That is a 20-point per game score. And
then Harold Carmichael, there's no tape of him ever playing hoops.
He probably could. He was 6'8", right? And he ran like a 4.6.
He might have played hoops in 1956.
He played with Wilt. What you mean?
Yeah, Harold Carmichael's skyhook is going to be dastardly. It's going to really give Calvin problems.
I get to give Harold Carmichael I get to give him like KDs. He doesn't have to wear Converses. I get to give him actual basketball equipment.
I love to give the benefit of the doubt on this draft, but I think my team is just absolutely smoking your team.
That's crazy. Smoke is crazy.
Smoking, bro.
This the first draft where
who's guarding T. Higgins? Who's guarding him?
So I have Odell.
He's guarding T. Higgins.
There you go.
He's a hooper,
he can
bro.
Guard him. We got Lamar. See, that's the thing. I could throw Antonio.
I got more hoopers. I got
Pat's not
better
moving like that.
Peak hoopers. My best hoopers are better than your best hoopers, and then I just got better athletes and more real hoopers.
I got athleticism at the 4 and the 5.
Calvin Johnson
real
and Randy Moss.
Guess what? Jimmy Graham, 6'8". Harold Carmichael,
you have size.
6'8", 6'9".
You have size. I have athleticism and hoopers. You have size.
I don't believe. I don't see where you come from. We're just gonna put this out there. We're gonna
Mike
let the
Tomlin
people
would have
decide.
made this team believe, and y'all wouldn't have covered spreads. You should have taken Tomlin.
I need some creative plays with Lamar out there. All right, because I know Lamar can finish at the rim. I already know that. I just gotta figure out a way to get a game plan that can really get him involved.
Oh,
and I'm telling you,
big miss. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought. But we missed it.
No.
We really
missed it. No. Actually, I want to hear this one because
Myles Garrett.
There's somebody on my list that
Myles Garrett.
That's what it was. It was Myles Garrett. And then it was
and C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud can hoop too.
C.J. Myles Garrett. C.J. That was on my list.
I should have taken Myles Garrett at the 5 instead of Calvin. Oh, that would have been so much better.
That genuine bit. Well, Myles, how tall is Myles?
Like 6'6".
Yeah.
Right?
Oh no, he's not that big. He's not.
Maybe he's like
huge.
6'4".
He's wide. That's the thing.
He's 6'4".
He's just muscular as hell.
I would have put him at the 5 though.
Yeah, but he's so much. Yeah, but he's stronger than Calvin. So that would have been made a little.
And he
more
can
sense.
actually play. Like he can actually hoop too. So either way, good draft.
I'm just saying. Are we putting no stock on Antonio Gates averaging 20 points per game?
Yeah, but he played the 4. You can't put him at the 3. You can't have Harold Carmichael. Who was your 4?
Harold Oswald, Jimmy Graham, averaged 8 points a game in college.
You should have taken another guard, not taken Carmichael and put Jimmy at the 5, and then had Antonio at the 4. But I don't think you're playing 3 big basketball. Antonio Gates was a big man. We got
rim protection. I can tell you right now, all them boys cannot shoot for real. I'm telling you right now, football players,
my guys
that hooped. I'm telling you, football players that hooped.
Justin Jefferson can shoot.
I could bet you money they was not shooting.
Oh, he can shoot.
T was dunking. I didn't see one
T's
3
cold,
in those
He's
clips.
Just cold.
Okay, see, I didn't see 1 3 in those clips. I watched the whole highlight film. I saw nothing but dunks. Harold Carmichael gonna be there, and he's gonna talk.
Keon can shoot it.
Tell you,
I don't know. I like my squad, bro. I like my squad. Either way, we got to move on.
Pat's a liability. Yeah, Pat's a liability out there.
Let's.
So we'll move on.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to guard. Hopefully, we can cover it up with some scheme. That's what he took McDaniel. But you want to just get right into trivia here? We do got to wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
We're running a little long, but we can get right into it. I got a question ready.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, now.
If I'm going to go ahead. We were talking about Benedict Mathurin early in the show.
Mm-hmm.
How many points did he average his rookie season? This is probably the most straightforward question I've ever given, but it's a tough one. How many points did Benedict Mathurin average his rookie year?
I'm going to get close because I literally remember this. But the percentage point, though. Again, for everybody who doesn't know trivia, you got to...
Oh, the one decimal.
Oh, yeah, the decimal point. Yeah, the decimal point. It was okay. Oh, this sucks because, like, I'm going to go 18.4.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
That is incorrect. You were close, though. I thought maybe I'd catch you lacking and that you would guess low. But he averaged 16.7 points per game his rookie year.
Oh, my God. That was the second guess. I just thought, I was like, no, he's asking this because he got way higher than expected.
Well, it is way higher than expected. I didn't think you would go that high, though.
No, I remember because I had high Benedict Mathurin stock. So
okay,
I watched him his whole rookie year, and I still got it wrong, so it doesn't matter. But I'm going to go ahead and throw my Bub Carrington trivia in there because I will drive this point home that this boy is a dog. But what I want you to answer for me, Nick, is how many field goal attempts do you think Bub Carrington put up in his freshman year per game at Pitt? Field goal attempts.
Is he one and done? Can I ask if he was one and done?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He was one and done. Out of Baltimore.
In a college game, 16.3.
Questions?
No. That's not. No.
Okay. Yeah, he would have been a top 5 pick if
per
he
game.
16 shots a game. I got it.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, especially for a point guard who I'm assuming averaged like 5-ish assists. College basketball, 5 assists is a lot to average.
He averaged 4.
Guys just don't make shots. It was 4, okay.
Yeah. 4 in college is genuinely good. Like, that's genuinely really good.
Yeah. 9.1. No, 9.7. Final answer.
9.7?
Yeah.
Your final answer?
Yeah.
You were incorrect, sir. Very much incorrect.
You gave me hope.
But
yeah, face.
But he actually shot 11.7 field goal attempts a game.
I almost went closer to 12, but I was like, man, like he was a good playmaker, like 4 assists.
See, that's the thing.
Well played.
Bub Carrington very much put up a lot of random ass shots at Pitt, where it's college basketball. So like literally like they go a whole possession with nothing happen, and Bub will shoot a whole bunch, like 2 a game, where he would just throw it at
the grenades.
Because he was the only because it was him and Blake Henson, I remember his name, were the only like ISO dudes on the team. So he shot a lot of like, bull drive shots, and that's if he didn't shoot those, you probably would have been correct. But yes,
yeah.
he shot 11.7, and actually, now that I'm looking at it, shot 41% from the field in college, which I don't know when it comes to college if that's bad exactly.
That's like mediocre-ish from a guard.
Yeah, from a guard.
It's all right.
It's college with college spacing.
It's mediocre.
Yeah.
Still, you got guards still like shooting over 50% from the field in college. There's less shots to be taken in college.
If he would have stayed, and something like that. Then,
oh yeah, but why would you? You're getting like, oh man, I'm gonna get drafted in the lottery or like late lottery first round. Yeah, I'll take $1 million at least. Rookie contract, easily. Sure. But
it is an
either way, so, folks.
There we go.
That's all we got. That's all we got for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know whenever we post. On Spotify, if you're listening there, or on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. You can write a review. Tell us what your favorite thing is about the show in the review. And it doesn't have to be that long because it's not homework, but we will grade you on it. If someone leaves a review, maybe we'll start posting those, like B- review go. For giving us 5 stars, 10 out of 10. We don't like the writing. Either way, that is all we got. And we will see you next Wednesday.
There you go. I'll see y'all next Wednesday, man. Shout out to Randy before we get out of here. But
shout out Randy.
Peace.
Almost forgot.
Shout out Randy, man.
Peace.